Have you ever wondered why the number of books in the Bible differs depending on the Christian denomination? Protestants recognize 66 canonical texts. Catholics? They include as many as 73. But that's not the most curious part. There are texts the Church refuses to acknowledge at all. These writings are called Apocrypha because their content directly contradicts the traditional biblical narrative. The Vatican would clearly prefer these texts remain forgotten. It's hard to imagine that Christ's followers would embrace his teachings if he turned out to be impulsive, egocentric, and even hostile toward women. And yet, that's exactly how Jesus is portrayed in the Apocryphal Gospel of Thomas. Meanwhile, the Gospel of Barnabas claims Jesus was a mortal man, not the Son of God. According to this version, during the Last Supper, he escaped through a window, leaving Judas Iscariot to be crucified in his place. This radically reshapes the image of one of Christianity's central figures. Among all ancient texts, there's one that evokes particular unease among religious authorities, the Book of Enoch. In its pages, we find claims such as angels with physical bodies, interstellar journeys before recorded history, God described as a being from another dimension. It reads more like science fiction than scripture. And perhaps that's exactly why the Church has kept it out of the official canon. In 1946, a group of Palestinian shepherds stumbled upon a hidden cave. Inside were clay jars filled with ancient manuscripts. Among them, a complete version of the Book of Enoch. The canonical Bible mentions Enoch only briefly as a descendant of Seth, who lived for 65 years and then walked with God. But what that phrase actually means is still debated by theologians to this day. Pyramid builder or heavenly visitor? Some ancient manuscripts suggest that Enoch wasn't just an ordinary man. A text known as the Kitab al-Hittat from Egypt implies that Enoch may have taken part in the construction of the Great Pyramids. His name also appears on the Weld Blundell Prism, a Sumerian artifact listing the names of ancient rulers. Perhaps it was through such associations that Enoch gained knowledge even greater than what's in the Bible. Before the Great Flood, the Book of Enoch mainly focuses on events that occurred before the biblical flood. The opening chapters loosely align with Genesis, especially its description of creation and the first humans. But then comes a twist. Enoch reveals what the Bible only hints at, the identity of the mysterious sons of God, who took earthly women as wives, resulting in the birth of giant offspring known as the Nephilim. The fall of angels and forbidden knowledge. According to Enoch, the sons of God were actually angels who defied heaven's laws. Led by a chief named Semyaza, they descended to earth, choosing to live among humans in violation of divine decree. Semyaza instructed them to share hidden wisdom with mankind, astronomy, metalworking, healing arts, and even sorcery. But instead of enlightenment, this knowledge brought chaos and domination. Those who mastered it used it to oppress others. Worse still, the Nephilim themselves became a source of corruption. Why did God truly send the flood? The offspring of the Nephilim were monstrous in size and consumed resources without mercy. Some became tyrants, others even turned to cannibalism. Enoch writes that it was to purge the earth of these giants, that God unleashed the Great Flood, a reset to restore balance. Intriguingly, fragments of Enoch's text are quoted in the canonical Book of Jude, and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church still considers the Book of Enoch sacred scripture. Legends of giants span the globe. In Central Africa, tribes speak of Mambo, a towering figure revered as both ancestor and god. In China, the myth of Pangu, the giant who split the world into yin and yang, echoes a similar tale, as do the Greek Titans, who battled Zeus and were cast into Tartarus, a dark abyss eerily similar to where Enoch says the Nephilim were imprisoned. Coincidence? Or a universal memory of something larger? Unearthing the past. In the United States, archaeologists excavated a burial mound and uncovered a skeleton over 2 meters tall, adorned with copper bracelets and a necklace made of mica. Surrounding it, the remains of ordinary people. It resembled a royal tomb, a giant monarch and his court. Academics dismissed it as legend, but Enoch's writings suggest that some giants may have survived the flood and returned to rule humanity once again. Enoch's cosmic knowledge. Among the book's most astonishing claims is that Enoch possessed detailed astronomical understanding. He described that the moon reflects the sun's light, the phases of the moon, and that Earth is spherical and orbits the sun. His descriptions match modern star classifications by mass, brightness, and distance. Could Enoch truly have known what science would only discover millennia later? Inside the celestial palace, Enoch recounts a visit to the realm of the Most High, a palace of glass and light, its floor and walls crystalline, glowing with a fire that was bright yet cold as snow. The structure floated through the sky like a flying temple. Before entering, Enoch was immersed in a fragrant liquid and given a glowing white robe, a process eerily reminiscent of decontamination, and a spacesuit. Religion or a cosmic expedition? Historians believe the Book of Enoch reached Europe in the 15th century, brought by a traveler returning from Egypt. The first translator, theologian Richard Lawrence, struggled to grasp the text's meaning. He rephrased much of it and even omitted entire segments. With every new translation, the original message grew more blurred. Interpretations replaced intentions. Theories and sermons replaced meaning. But what if we let go of the religious lens and read the Book of Enoch as a sci-fi chronicle? Everything begins to make eerie sense. Maybe Enoch wasn't speaking metaphorically. Maybe he was describing a close encounter with an extraterrestrial civilization, using only the symbols and words he had. A witness from another world. Modern genetics reveals humans carry Neanderthal DNA. Proof that crossbreeding between species is not science fiction, but history. Perhaps that's why Enoch described angels not as divine spirits, but as humanoid beings. The Nephilim, born of their union with women, may have been biologically compatible because we all share a common cosmic ancestry. In the 1970s, astronomer Carl Sagan studied the Dogon people in West Africa. They knew about Sirius B, a star invisible to the naked eye, confirmed by telescope only in the 20th century. At first, it seemed like ancient wisdom, but later, researchers found that a European traveler had visited the tribe in the 1930s and likely shared stories from a book about space. That simple tale morphed into a tribal mythology, complete with gods, visions, and star maps. So maybe someone once showed Enoch a few videos from their version of the Discovery Channel, and history was never the same again. The truth is closer than we think. At first glance, the Book of Enoch seems like just another scroll, forgotten by time, ignored by doctrine. But the deeper we read, the less it feels like scripture, and the more it sounds like a message. A message from the stars, celestial lights, towering giants, palaces that float in the air, technology far ahead of its time, mysterious beings that sound a lot like what today we call aliens. And the most disturbing thought? Maybe this has all happened before, and the memory was carefully erased or buried. So who was Enoch? A prophet? A cosmic traveler? Or the only witness to something no one else would believe? The answers may still lie hidden in time, in the Vatican's vaults, or even in our own DNA. But that is another story entirely.